Imagine you are floating along in a quiet alien world. Your suit protects you from the cold, and your air supply ensures that you can operate safely. You're surrounded by colorful creatures that you've only ever read about. What if I told you that this isn't a scene from a science fiction novel, but rather this is your average scuba diving experience? Welcome. Today we'll be discussing why you should delve into the wonderful world of scuba diving. Hello, my name is Gabby. I'm an experienced diver with 6 certifications, 40 dives, and over 25 hours spent underwater. I've dove all over the world in various environmental conditions, and I take dive planning and safety seriously to ensure that every dive is the best that it can be. Now, I recognize some of you may be hesitant to scuba dive. You may think it's a dangerous activity that only adrenaline junkies get into, but I assure you, it can be a safe, enjoyable hobby with many benefits. Many people are nervous about dipping their toe into scuba diving. I also was nervous before I began diving, but the more time I spent underwater, the more comfortable I became, and nowadays I find diving to be one of the most relaxing activities ever. Let's take a moment to answer 5 common questions and dispel some myths that you may have heard. Question number 1, is diving dangerous? The Professional Association for Diving Instructors, also known as PADI, addresses these concerns directly on their website with the following statement. Despite its adventurous appeal, scuba diving is considered a low-risk activity when compared to many other outdoor and sporting activities. Even common activities like swimming, jogging, and riding all-terrain vehicles have a higher reported fatality rates than diving. On average, there are only 1,569 scuba-related emergency room admissions in the US each year. Now, this may sound like a lot, but when compared to the average 65,728 ER admissions for fishing, or 48,582 for volleyball-related incidents, a measly 1,500 diving reports doesn't seem as intimidating. Question number 2, what if I don't know how to dive? Not to worry. You have to be certified to dive through an accredited entity such as PADI. They will ensure that you have all the training you need. You'll be diving with an instructor that knows what they're doing, and you won't be diving alone. Question number 3, what if my equipment fails? PADI discusses these concerns as well. Modern diving gear is highly reliable. If you do your safety checks before getting in the water, gear problems are extremely rare. Through your training, you'll also be taught how to respond to these situations and what to do in the unlikely event that your gear fails. Question number 4, what if I get hurt? Well, let's consider the most common concerns: decompression sickness, aka DCS or the bends, and pulmonary overinflation syndrome, also known as POIS. The National Library of Medicine reports that in the Asian Pacific area, only 0.4% of dives result in complications relating to DCS or POIS. These risks can be mitigated by diving only within your certification level and strictly following established diving procedures. Additionally, if anything should happen to you while you're diving, you'll be surrounded by other divers that have trained how to respond to these situations. They will ensure that you get the assistance that you need. Question number 5, what if I get eaten by a shark? It's actually a more common fear than you think, and it's totally fine to feel this way. But consider this. The Florida Museum reports that there is a 1 in 4.3 million chance that you will be fatally wounded by a shark in your lifetime. Compare that to a 1 in 84 chance of dying in a car accident. In fact, you are more likely to be struck by lightning than to be killed in a shark attack. Sharks are very misunderstood creatures with a bad rep. I've dove with sharks and can personally attest that if you leave them alone, they'll generally leave you alone as well. Remember that you're a guest in their home. Don't be rude. So, scuba diving may seem intimidating to get into, but I promise it is not difficult to master. I've dove with children as young as 11 years old. I'm betting that if they can do it, you can do it too. I hope this makes you feel a little more at ease with the thought of scuba diving because there's so many benefits to consider. Diving is just flat out fun. There's no experience quite like breathing underwater. Diving is the closest thing to being in space that you'll experience here on Earth when you consider the weightlessness, the quiet, and the total darkness on night dives. You can see all kinds of exotic aquatic life up close and personal. You can see parts of the world that many will never get to see, and you can experience history with your own two eyes and with your own two hands. In fact, there is a dive site in Guam where two ships from World War I and World War II sunk in the same place. This location is the only spot where divers can touch a ship from World War I and World War II at the same time. It's pretty cool. Not only is diving fun, but it has many benefits to your overall physical, social, and mental well-being. Diving is great for your health. SCUBA Carby suggests that aside from increased circulation and improved respiratory system, diving is a great low-impact workout, and it's easy on the joints. And it's good for your muscle growth all over your body, especially in your legs. If you want to work on your calves, this is the sport for you. Mentally, scuba diving increases your focus and coordination. According to SCUBA Carby, being underwater is a weightless environment, and drifting through it can give you a feeling of peace and contentment. As someone who suffers from chronic mental illness, unfortunately, I can attest to this. Diving is one of the few places where my mind goes quiet. I truly find peace in diving. Socially, since you will always be diving with a buddy and will be completely dependent on them, you will make fast friends. Diving is a great way to connect with other people and build a sense of community. It is a very social hobby. On top of the benefits we've discussed, you can also use your diving skills and knowledge to make a real impact in the world around you. You can dive for a good cause. Not only does diving feel good, but you can do good while doing good for the world around you and do something fun. You can participate in beach cleanups, coral replenishment, biome or species reporting, invasive species control, underwater photography, aquarium volunteering, or just go all out and make a career out of underwater welding. As you can see, diving is truly one of the best pastimes. I hope what we've discussed today has increased your interest in scuba diving. Through diving, you can enjoy a safe, exciting, fun activity that is good for you while you do good in the world around you. Remember, we've only covered the surface of scuba diving here today. There is a whole new world for you to explore. Contact a dive shop near you to get connected with your local diving community, or head to PADI.com to find a diving master near you. I hope to see you out there.